Hello, AI enthusiasts. Welcome to another episode of Disruptia podcast, where we talk about everything going on in the world of AI. So, let's get into another episode, and this episode is for the week ending the 12th of April. So, let's just get into it. How's your week been?
Interesting week. So the agency I run, it's interesting times. We've had projects put on hold. We've had just I haven't really had a stretch like this for quite a while.
Yes.
And who knows? I don't think AI is to blame,
Yeah.
but AI is a good scapegoat.
Absolutely. I feel the same. Like I didn't even know that there are this many projects in blockchain and crypto still there, but I'm getting so many more inquiries all the time now, even more than before. However, the number of people who want to pay for things is maybe one third of before. So maybe it's just the economic conditions. It's like people are trying, and now it feels like it's easier to wipe code and build things. Just like the website I was showing you that I
Yeah,
made for this AI news channel. It took me like hardly any time, less than 1 hour, and it's only because I was being picky. If I wanted to, it's 20 minutes to do the whole website with animation, with everything. 1 hour because I want to try different things and all that. So yeah, things have definitely gotten easier, but as soon as you go into anything complex, it adds bugs. And that's what I realized yesterday.
absolutely. Yeah,
As soon as I added the animation effects and made them more and more complex, that I kept on talking with Claude and can we also do this? Can we also do this? And then things started to break.
yeah.
And
It's the same as what it's always been. If you allow scope creep to come in, it's the same
yes,
problem as you would in normal development. You've got way more things to keep track of, and the context window matters a lot.
yes,
The more you add, and it's so easy to add it in AI. Sometimes it's just a prompt, and sometimes it's a one-shot prompt, and it works. But you're not thinking ahead that if you want this to be sustainable, you've got to keep
yes.
things really, really tight.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like even back in the days, I don't know if you remember because this is from 2019, 2020. It's like when we had the Build My MVP website, which it's still out there for people who want to check it out. And we used to give quotes. It was just
Yeah,
a very basic, simple algorithm giving out quotes to people on who want to build MVPs back in the days. And then even when someone wanted to add something, I was like, okay, then what are you going to remove on the home page? Like if we can add this or that. So it's like
yeah,
just like how if you add a SaaS subscription, it has to come at the expense of some other SaaS subscription. And you have to cancel one. Only then you're allowed to to sign up to the next one. So having that discipline, having it said is much easier than putting it in practice. And that's what I found like something to do that anyone who is building in AI can do. But yeah, let's get into AI. What's been happening in AI? What have you seen? What's happened in the last week?
yeah. Well, a few tweets I've seen, or I guess you call them exposts
Yes.
now. But one of them was this one I shared by what's the username is OM Patel,
Yes.
and the headline is the Anthropic team doesn't write code anymore, and this is spread quite wide, being viewed nearly 1 million times, saying that they just run multiple agents in parallel. No one is writing any code in Anthropic. And this is an example of total AI hype. There is no way in the world that Anthropic are shipping all their code without actually writing code. I can
Yeah.
tell you right now, it's not there yet. Maybe in the future, but I think this is a clear example of AI hype. And then when not the guy's obviously a builder and I respect indie hackers, but his profile says 16-year-old SaaS developer. So
No,
yeah,
no. So I was just reading the comments underneath that, and it's actually taken from Reddit. And as you said, yeah, and someone else underneath was saying that while that might or might not be the case, that I'm highly skeptical of anonymous Reddit posts, and there is like very little incentive to tell truth, and all the karma points that you receive, and all those incentives make it, make incentivizes to make shit things up just to get like attention and engagement and all that. Just
Yeah,
to
yeah,
So I think that's quite likely what it could be.
yeah. And I think, but just on the sort of topic of AI hype, first of all,
Yes.
AI is an amazing tool. But someone brought up a post on, I think it was shared on Hacker News recently, an old post, 2019. So we're talking, what, 7 years ago.
Yes.
And the title of the post, I think it's a slate.com article. It says, OpenAI says its new model, GPT-2, is too dangerous to release. And that's just quite hilarious to read now, but that's the kind of height that AI has. Yet again, here we are this week. I think it's this week where Claude Mythos, I think that's how you pronounce it, this new
Yes.
model from Anthropic. It says Anthropic is too scared to release it. And it's like, it's almost the same language from Anthropic that OpenAI was using 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Apparently, this model is able to find, the examples given are almost hilarious. It says, a 27-year-old piece of software, a bug was found that no developer has found. Developers find bugs like that all the time. As groundbreaking as it sounds,
Yeah.
and that's a lot of the news in AI. You have to take it with a grain of salt, because there's no question that AI is an amazing tool. Probably I mean, it's bigger than even when the smartphone came along. But in terms of opportunities and what it can lead to, but there is still so much hype in it, man.
There is, and also it's because we live in this echo chamber of
Yeah,
developers and everything that yeah, we don't think about it, but yeah, what it is what it is. But yeah, just reading Om Patel's post, underneath there are so many developers, from senior developers from Amazon and senior developers from some of the biggest tech companies. Not a single person is agreeing that this is what is
yeah,
going on. Maybe this is the scenario of future, but we always find more things to do. It's just like, even for us, if we can code something faster, that means we will create more, we will do other things. We won't just fold up shop and go and sit by the beach and do nothing. That just doesn't happen. That's not how humans work. So it's like
yeah.
kind of like video games. It's like once you complete one level, you just want to go to the next level, you want to do the next thing, then and the next thing, or build the next thing, and so on. So yeah, so that's that. What else has been going on? Yeah, I saw that Claude Mythos or Mythos that's been released, like trained on something like 10 trillion parameters or something like that.
Yeah, had it cost estimated 10 billion to do the training.
Yes, yes. And even I've had like some inquiries for, I mean, I don't know, where are they finding the data for training all these things, or are they all training on the same data?
Well, that's the cannibalistic nature. Like, surely they're now consuming AI produced data.
Yeah. It's
So
like I have had some inquiries for the data that I'm creating, whether it's from the analytics of the podcast or like all sorts of data that I have, because I've been running podcasts for over 5 years, recorded nearly 500 episodes. It's hundreds and hundreds of hours of data, and AI wants to use. I mean, whether I give permission or not, they're gonna scrape the internet anyway.
yeah, yeah.
So I might as well. I don't know. It's such a hard one. What would you do if someone said that Orchid has been coding? You have all this old codes and data and all sorts of things, whether it's in client communication, all that's internal, that's not external, drives and everything, and images and things you guys have done on Figma and all that. Do you want to export it all and sell to AI to train? Would you do it? And what would you charge?
It's an interesting question, because most of the tooling we use already is open source. So we're building on the top of hundreds of hours of work that's already been done. A lot of the tooling we have built as part of Orchid, our agency,
Mhm.
we have released as open source. So it's already there being consumed. It's almost like our philosophy has been open source, and we kind of have to just say, hey, use it.
No. Okay. Let me give a bit more concrete example. So currently, you have the designs in Figma, and Figma probably looks at it anyway. Figma
Yeah.
consumes it to. It has where you can do the AI prompts and create a design. So it's learning that from other clients, like its own AI. It's looking at but external, like say for Gemini cannot go inside Figma and look at Figma's clients' designs and stuff. And
Yeah.
for the last 7-8 years, hundreds of clients that Orchid has had, whether they were in, what was it before Figma that Serena used to, or one of our team members used to use?
Envision.
Yes, Envision, and there was also one more product that
Oh yeah, what was that?
died after Figma,
The
but
Mac app.
pre-Figma. Which one? Yeah, it was a Mac app. That's right. It
Sketch?
was.
Is it Sketch?
Yes,
Yeah.
Sketch and things like
Sketch
that.
still around?
And
Yeah, it's still around. Sketch.
yeah. But I mean, not many people use it. Figma pretty much took over, ate their lunch. So yeah, there's all these designs that were made in-house, rough sketches, all sorts of InVision, Photoshop, all those things. Export it and upload it to Gemini. If Google asked for that, would you be open to doing it for of course for money? You'd charge them something, or would?
It's an interesting question. I mean, I think it's kind of like, when you create a GitHub profile, a repo, you
Yes.
answer the question, is this going to be private or public? And, if you're making it public, you're basically saying, I'm happy for other people to learn or, see a different angle of how we're doing development. And in turn, I'll be able to, my hope is that they'll also share what they're doing. It's kind of the
Yes.
same ethos, I think, that if you say, it's going to make these models richer, which in turn we can benefit from. At this point, I feel like you're not going to gain much by keeping it proprietary. And again, I do still think open source is the MIT license is kind of like, how do you want to do your work? Because ultimately, you want your work to be out there in the world.
Yeah, recognize and be useful to the world. Yeah, that's right. But at the end of the day, it's still your agency's work. Should your agency benefit from it? If AI is getting trained, if Gemini is getting like their Nano Banana, next version of Nano Banana or whatever, needs to train to make better designs for people, and it needs to learn from all these UI, UX designs that's made by the designer that Orchid paid for. Should Orchid be compensated for that? Or it might as well be compensated instead of them trying to find it in your Google Drive because they own Google and then taking it anyway.
Yeah. I mean, might as well. I mean, the remuneration is going to be in the term. It's like AdSense revenue.
It would be AdSense revenue because they would need to consume billions of images to create things meaningfully and to pay for that.
Yeah.
They're not going to pay even $1 for a design, which is nothing. Like a service client would be paying, 150 or more. I mean, per sort of design for web page or whatever per hour. So it would be minuscule. So yeah, I am faced with that question as well, that to give them content, analytics, all that. And then the other side is they can take anyway. It's on the internet.
Yeah, exactly. The transcripts are there. The audio is downloadable.
Yeah. So it's a very hard question.
In fact, you'll have so many hours there that someone could probably create a pretty good Sam Kamani
absolutely
narrator voice.
Absolutely, someone could create that in like no time. And there are user-generated content used to be very big. That was how influencers used to make money. But I don't know how they will make money now going ahead, because you could create a human persona so easily, whether replicate a human or create a new, just a generic looking human that you don't need to pay a user like for UGC. So it's like, why would any brand pay for UGC when they can just do that? But I don't know, the rules are in such a, I don't know, such an ambiguous territory at the moment. Like you don't know whether, someone can claim it. So say if you created an influencer's persona, or like, you created Logan Paul and Logan Paul is advertising Orchid, can Logan Paul sue you? Even though it doesn't say it's Logan Paul, but people find similarities in the face. It's just like some artists, or I've seen that some graphics designer, their work is now heavily referenced by AI, and AI is not paying them, and people can just create and use it, and people wouldn't know that they are stealing this artist's work, or it looks exactly like that. It's such a gray area. I have no idea. What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, I think it's probably an area that someone can innovate and create a good licensing system. And so there's probably a
Yes.
big opportunity there. But yeah, in a lot of ways, I think the ship has already sailed if we want to say that that's not allowed. I think it's pretty much all the Mid-Journey and all these companies, like you say, all the designs are based on what's come before with actual human designers.
Yeah.
That's how, you know, the LLMs are so good at programming because they've consumed all the open source code out there. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, there's obviously an opportunity for licensing. Like, I don't think I can get away using Elon Musk to be the face of my company without his permission.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, one of the things I'm interested in is, yeah, how you're practically using AI in your day to day. So I guess an example I've recently tried is, running a agency and running a few other projects at the moment. Obviously, SEO is still important, even if it's
Yes.
Google providing an AI response based on their rankings or, answer engine optimization or whatever you want to call it. So, but the problem is the time involved and the agents, despite what we are told, I don't think are there yet. But one of the things I've tried recently is most AI tools you pay for, whether it's Hrefs or you have the
Yes.
Majestic or whatever tool it is, they have NCP servers or even just even just APIs.
Yeah.
And so what I've done recently is just set up a Claude Code project, prompted it to build a Node.js app, gave it all the documentation for the API, and then basically it allows me to do research very, very fast. I can just instruct it, I want to research this. Is this term worth ranking for? What potential, LLM questions could I tweak my content to be seen for? And so using the API, it does all the research and then comes back with recommendations, comes back with
Yeah.
basically you can,
So are these paid APIs or free APIs?
they're pretty much all of them are paid, but
Yes.
it's usually just part of your monthly fee, or there are even
Yes.
some tools where you just pay for per call.
Yeah.
And because it's just you doing it, it's very inexpensive. You
Yes.
can cache the results and then just query for new data. But in terms of a practical use, it means you can do research that might have taken you a week. You can do in an afternoon.
Can you automate it in somehow so you don't even have to do it like it once a week? It does the research and sends you a mail or sends you an
Yeah.
update, or if there is a new term suddenly that has come up that we don't rank, or there is a easy way to rank for it, it will send you an alert or a notification that please do go and do this, or even go and do that task, like write an article related to it, reach out to people that hey, link to us, we've just written this article, all that stuff.
Yeah. And I guess that's the
Agentic
agentic.
model.
So, as I said, AI agents are a thing, but for it to work, I think you need to slowly set that up. You can't just
Yes.
create an agent and say, this is what I want you to do. Alert me on Monday on all the articles you've written and all the bloggers or news journalists you've reached out to. Uh, a lot of that, I think, is uh, where it falls down. And ultimately, I've had this opinion from the beginning: is the fact that you can get AI to write 20,000 blog articles does not help you, because every single of your competitors can do the same.
Yes.
It's much better to simply use the AI tools, but then also use your human intelligence to then act
Yes.
on it.
Yeah.
No, I stand to be corrected here, but you know, if
Mhm.
one plumber creates 20,000 blog articles on their website, then surely that will give them a initial SEO boost. But every plumber can do that, and so it kind of levels the playing field pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
automation, something I can do, but at this point, I think I don't know. Open to this discussion, but do you actually think AI written content has any value?
Oh, it does. It does. For SEO, it is now getting considered. However, what has the most value is highly researched, with a lot of human insight and creating something like that. So I was just reading about the acquired podcast and their revenue. In 2020, they made 200K. In 21, they made 800K. In 22, they made 2.5 million. 23, they made 5 million. 24, they made 8 million. In 25, they made 12. And yeah, so it's like, and they do only 8 episodes a year. So um or something like that. I don't know if they do really do 8 episodes or how many episodes they do. I think they do 4 per season, 4 episodes per season, and they have like fall or spring or something like yeah, so it's no longer volume, because volume is commoditized.
Yeah, exactly.
So it has come back to quality, and if you produce high quality stuff, it can be immensely valuable. And it once again shows that media is the new mode and distribution is all that matters. So if you have zero
Exactly. Yeah.
distribution for a product, it's dead. There's no point in even building the product. So how to
Yeah.
figure out a distribution strategy first and then create the product around it.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of thing where, you hear about mobile app success stories and how anyone can build apps with AI. It
Yes.
almost reminds me of, 20, 25 years ago, people had these really lucrative PDF businesses where essentially they're selling a PDF document. Now, anyone could have copied that document, tweaked it, and then set up a website themselves, but that doesn't mean success. It's the same thing as, if someone got the source code of Facebook and they created, betterbook.com, it doesn't really mean a thing. Facebook's not, it's going to be an even notice because, like you said, distribution is key, is king. And unless you have that figured out, democratization is a bit of a buzzword of this.
Yes.
Things are getting more and more democratized. And it's about, can you build a brand? Can you build a moat with your distribution?
Yeah, but it's so hard though. Distribution and getting the right engagement and right attention is so hard. It's like I work in the crypto, blockchain, Web3, all that space, and most of the engagement in that space is all fake. It's all like people get insane numbers. They get like millions and millions of views, or
Yeah.
like likes and comments and stuff, like in hundreds of thousands for their posts on Twitter, especially on Twitter. Like there is a thing called crypto Twitter, and like most of the crypto Twitter is fake. It's all just bots and content farms and stuff, because there's a hyper financialization and people are rewarded based on their engagement. So then
Yeah.
it's all fake engagement. You're not reaching real people. You're just reaching the same 20,000 people plus the 2 million bots. That's
Yeah.
what the
Yeah.
numbers are at the moment. So a lot of these protocols, L1s, L2, they might feel really good that, oh, they have 500,000 followers, they have 2 million followers on Twitter, but are they real? Are they real users? So the same person runs like 20 accounts and has a content farm for another 5,000 bots or whatever. So it's yeah, it's getting the real attention, getting the real engagement. Only that converts, and that you do by providing real value and spending immense amount of time in doing that research and providing that value. So there are still no shortcuts. So yeah, let's do this again next week and talk about what happens between now and next week in AI and in this field, and cover some news stories about AI. So yeah, so thanks Will, for your time, and yeah, let's
Cool.
go. And in
Sounds
future,
good.
maybe we can also have some guest speakers and all that to come along and have a chat. So yeah, cool.
Yeah, sounds good. Also keen to just do more AI experiments.
Yes.
And yeah, survive in somewhere in the mid range of the hype that surrounds AI. Like I
Yes.
said, there's a lot of utility. So let's use
Yeah,
that,
and I
see what
mean,
we can
also
do.
for people listening, if you guys have an idea that you want to create, build, reach out to us, and yeah, let's create something together. So yeah,
Cool.
cool, awesome.
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks, Sam.
Cheers. Thank you so much for joining us today for another episode of the Disruptia podcast. As always, do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow. And please leave us a comment on what you would like to hear from us in the next episode. And see you again next week, same time, same place.